Hey everybody, Fishman here. Welcome to the video. This is Fishman Blog number 176. Well, sort of. I had originally intended on doing a whole series of videos on filter design and pros and cons of every type of filter system and trying to cover as much detail as possible in, well, filtering your aquariums. It was 2 months ago that I put up the first video, and there really isn't a lot of interest in this topic, I find. I can understand why, because there's a fair amount that goes into building, designing, and making your own filters, and it's not something for everyone. But that's okay. What I'm going to do here is I am going to finish up these filters. You can see I have made some progress on them already. It's been very busy, but I am going to finish up these box filters, and then I'm going to move on to putting the thing that's going to make them different into a video. Now, I may put that as part of a fish room blog, I'm not sure, but most likely it'll get its own video because I want to show some of the details of why I like that particular style. I mean, you've seen these box filters. I use them in a lot of my aquariums. This is the design that I have favored, and I've tried a whole pile of them, and some of them work, some of them don't work. Well, sorry, that's not quite true. All filters, no matter how inexpensive or how poorly put together, actually do work to an extent. The reason what I meant by they don't work is, I mean, they are not up to a standard where I can put them in any aquarium and have them do what I need them to do. These filters, this style here, I've used these filters in African cichlid aquariums. I've used them for clients. I've used them in tiny aquariums. I've used them in all sorts of different setups. I've yet to find one where these filters don't work well. They pretty much filter as I expect them to. The downside of them, of course, is they are a little large, and they're not necessarily something you want to have to look at in your aquarium. That is the only reason why I don't have them everywhere, because I have to build blinds for them and things to hide them, and it's not always advantageous to do those sorts of things. But for my own fish room, they're excellent. I have yet to find a fault with them. I don't necessarily need all the chambers for every every aquarium filtration system I'm making, but it doesn't hurt to have extra filtration, I find, and it works out even if I just put the same media in the bottom two chambers. I haven't decided yet whether or not I prefer a sponge or polyester wool in the top layer. Obviously the polyester gives you a much finer filtration, gives you clearer water, but so far I'm finding that the sponges are also quite good, and the nice thing I find about them also, of course, is they don't require cleaning anywhere near as much as the polyester. So yeah, I'm going to work on those details still. I have lots of tanks going with these styles, and I'm going to keep working on them. I find anything that you put together, no matter what it is, they all work well in the short term, and that's the problem with this sort of thing as well. You need a number of aquariums, and then you need to let them do their thing for quite some time. A year is kind of a minimum. I prefer anything I've decided to work on, if it hangs around and is doing its thing and I'm happy with it after 2 years, then I think it's a good thing. I think it's doing what it needs to do. And so far, I think we're at the 2-year mark for this style of filter, and I'm quite happy with it. A couple of the earlier models for box filters I put together didn't quite make the grade. They were like original designs, and I fully intended that they were designs and they were going to do their thing, and we'll see how they work. And yeah, that's why I ended up here. And that's like I said, that's the thing about it that I really like the most. It's getting to that point where you've designed something and it starts really doing what it needs to do. Now, the other favorite filtration system that I've had, and I've talked about quite a bit, and you see them in all my tanks, are the high humidity planters. Now, there is one downside I find to the high humidity planters, and it has nothing to do with the filtration system itself. It has to do with my time and the amount of time I can devote to cleaning everything. They've been up for a few years now, and I find one or two of them which I need to clean, and I don't have the time to clean, have a bit of a wicking problem. And I do have, from time to time, a bit of water going down the outside of the aquariums, and I have to, of course, go in there and clean out the holes and make sure that they flow properly. And well, that's not their fault. They've been running for over 2 years, and it is definitely time for them to be cleaned. It's just finding the time to do that. So that's one of the reasons for this particular design. Oh, before I get into that, I'm going to do a close-up here. This is going to show you the wicking process for the weld, and I'm actually going to leave a clip to the other channel I have. I'm going through the mechanical processes for doing the welding and what to look for in welding. If that sort of thing interests you at all, go to the link and have a look at it and let me know what you think. My process for doing acrylic welding hasn't changed in years. I'm very happy with how it goes, and as you can see, you get nice clear welds. And yeah, anyway, if you're interested in that, go have a look. So back to high humidity planters. The reason why I oh, by the way, the bit of deflection you see at the top there gets taken out at this point in the process. You'll see in a few seconds I'll straighten those out and weld them. 1/8 inch acrylic is quite flexible, so you have to be careful of that when you're doing it. So anyway, like I said, high humidity planters, there's one slight design change I want to do, and that's what this is going to be made into this sort of filtration system, and that is, this is going to be completely inside the aquarium. The filtration, the high humidity planter part, is going to go on top of these filters, and there's going to be a little bit more of an immersed section, and then there's going to be, of course, the part that's out of the water. It'll have hopefully a number of benefits. One is, if it decides to plug up, it will only ever go back into the aquarium itself, which is nice, because like I said, I just don't seem to have the time for everything I need to do, and that will prevent that problem. Now, obviously, there are other problems that may crop up. We'll see in a couple of years. You never know with these things. So yeah, that's my point about these sorts of things that you design. Try them out. Build something and let it run for a while and see if you actually do like it. And I'm sorry if, for those of you, the few of you who are actually interested in my comments on other filtration styles, you can always just leave a comment and I will try and deal with it in one way or another if you have something specific you like or dislike. I mean, there are filters I don't like, and there's nothing really wrong with them specifically, but everyone has their own peculiar ways of dealing and working with their fish rooms, and mine's just the way it is. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Leave comments, let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next video, and bye for now.